I don't honestly really care what the poster was referencing. What I'm trying to do is fix your sloppiness so that everybody won't have wasted, 10, 12 months of their lives in this trial. Oh. Y'all have, this gigantic, ginormous universe of evidence that maybe if you narrowed down, you would not be making these kinds of mistakes. But would you like a mistrial without prejudice?
Yes.
You would? Who else would?
Oh, man. A mistrial is looming over the Young Thug YSL RICO trial. The state didn't prep their witness, SLIMELIFE SHAWTY, and he read #FreeQuay, which was redacted on the screen but not on the paper they gave him. This trial could be over today. We don't know yet. We'll know tomorrow morning. I'm going to try to rush this video up as soon as possible. The judge calls them sloppy and she's trying to fix their mistakes, which isn't her job. She denied a mistrial with prejudice, but she's basically saying she would grant one without. Thug would stay in jail and they could try him again, but they only have a certain amount of time to do so. Hit subscribe, join some membership. Let's go, boys.
It's a finding by another jury of fact that they haven't been able to confront. So how do you get around the confrontation clause issue?
So I think they're talking about the Lil Rod murder conviction,
which they cannot confront, which is establishing a fact.
This is from September 18th, 2020. My client's charged with a murder in 2015. He's charged with a murder in 2022. So this is not close in time to any acts of violence that my client's alleged to have committed. I acknowledge that ain't none more compatible than a trench of carbon while in the trenches could be viewed as a reference to a firearm. But what's the purpose, and is it anything more than just bad character evidence that suggests my client's around firearms? I just don't see any connection to any of the allegations in this case. It is an overact listed in an indictment, but from my perspective, that doesn't change the analysis. Just because the state alleges is an overact, if they allege an overact, a post that would fail 403 analysis, I don't believe that automatically makes it admissible.
He's had to say this several times in the trial. Just because something's an overact doesn't mean it's admissible. I don't think the judge agrees with it every time he says it, though.
They chose to plead it that way. They don't get to plead their ways out of the rules of evidence.
So apparently this is Shannon right here. Ain't nothing more compatible than a trench, a carbon while in the trenches.
Mr. Stillwell in his song says, I beat a murder rap. He was on bond. He requested a speedy trial. There was all sorts of things. He ends up on bond. It's been years since he's been arrested. He says, I beat a murder rap, paid my lawyer $30 for that. I don't know how much he paid. It wasn't.
I remember this situation with Glenville.
Somehow, when we litigated it before, I beat a murder rap was deemed an admission. I don't know. I've asked a lot of people this, and universally, I figured maybe it's just me that I'm analyzing it wrong. Universally, everyone said to me, no, it just means you were charged and you beat it. It's not saying that you did it and you beat it. Well, I don't know how that's an admission.
Okay, well, the jury hadn't been told it's an admission, have they?
Well, why is it admissible then? An admission, it's just a song saying, I was arrested.
It's an admission in evidentiary terms, like an admission by a party opponent. I would not view it necessarily as an admission that I committed murder and then got away with it. But that's not what we mean evidentially when we say it's admissible under the rules of evidence as an admission. It's an admission by a party opponent, which it is that.
When we've been dealing with lyrics, and these are lyrics, we've been cognizant of First Amendment.
Yes, and everybody gets a right to say whatever they want, within the bounds of the First Amendment. But if that is also something that might be able to incriminate them in some manner, then, that's the choice they made.
Okay. Well, I would just like to reiterate my objection under relevance in 403 because historically saying I was arrested and I beat it, I just don't see the relevance of that. But I understand the court's ruling.
Okay.
I actually agree with Shard there. That's strange. So it's admissible, but it's not an admission of guilt. It's just admissible under rules of evidence.
I also believe, though, that Mr. Kendrick's guilty plea to the gang involvement, he pled to a gang count, that's what we're dealing with now. Mr. Kendrick and Mr. Williams are indicted in counts, I'm going to tell you 56, 57, together. And that guilty plea, it's not only for the RICO overt act, but it also goes to those counts too, because I don't want the jurors to use, well, Mr. Kendrick admitted through a guilty plea that he was part of a criminal street gang YSL, so that has to be incorporated.
Did he actually admit it was YSL?
Yes, that's part of the issue.
They're going to know that from what they get presented?
We did not list YSL in the indictment, on that previous indictment.
Right.
I think you did.
No, I just looked at the indictment. It doesn't say YSL in the indictment.
Okay, well, that's better. Memory's different, but if you looked, then I'm wrong, I'm sure.
Yeah, I just looked like 2 seconds ago, so it's not. It may be in the guilty plea transcript, but that's not.
They have to be careful on how they show the jury any of this, because it could be prejudicial to other defendants, obviously. All right, Lil Rod's lawyer up to cross the girl that says she saw them shooting the car, like basically snitched on Lil Rod and got him convicted of murder.
Yesterday, on direct, you said you used to hang out at Bolly's house, and you used to hang out on the 3rd floor?
It was everywhere, all over the house.
Okay, so you used to hang out on the bottom floor, the main house?
All over the house.
And so it's a 3-story house?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? Okay. And there's a door on the 3rd floor, right?
I'm not sure. I really don't remember.
The mom walked out of the door when she was on the 3rd floor?
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Okay. So you testified on direct that when you went outside that night, you got into BJ's car, right?
Correct.
And then he drove you, Tahira, Red, Jamari, across the street?
Yes.
Because Tahira told you that there's a weed man over there?
Yes.
55% of you aren't subscribed. Hit subscribe and notification bell right now, boys.
And you're not familiar with that area?
No, I'm not.
You don't know anybody there?
No, I don't.
So you got out the car to go talk to somebody who you don't know in an unfamiliar area?
Yes, because I was scared. I didn't know what was going to go on.
And then that's when you say you saw Lil Rod and Bolly running and shooting, right?
Yes.
So she's trying to catch this girl in a lie here.
And you told so many other stories that the detective asked you if you knew the difference between a truth and a lie.
Yes.
In the first couple of hours of that interview, you kept saying that there was one shooter, true?
Yes, I did.
You said BJ was shooting, correct?
Yes, I did. I said a couple stuff. I was shook up. I was scared. I didn't know what to say. I never been in no situation like that before.
And then towards the end of the police interview, Detective Hogan told you what he thought happened, right?
Correct.
And then after, Detective Casey told you, this is a time for you to sing your ass off, because if not, you're gonna find your ass in fucking jail with these fools, right?
Correct.
And that's when you started adopting Detective Hogan's version that there were two shooters.
Yes.
And then that's when you started saying that there was a big gun.
I don't remember.
And that's when you started putting Lil Rod in your story, correct?
Yes.
But you didn't call 911 to let them know that you were trapped in this basement.
Nope. I called my grandma and my mom first. And by the time I called my mom, 911 was at her house.
And when you were on the phone with your grandmother and your mother, you told them, I just saw a shooting.
No. When I called my mama was yelling and screaming, telling me homicide at her door.
So casting doubt, trying to make her look like a liar. Probably called her in a lie there. Who is this dork?
Yes, so I started working at the DA's office in August of 2017. I handle the gang cases that are randomly assigned, reviewing social media records, especially when it comes to gang prosecution, as far as evidentiary value, because of both the...
Sustained.
Can you scrap for the jury?
This guy looks overwhelmed and nervous. Look at his face. Steele objected and he went, I'm sorry.
So, in order to get the records from Instagram, there is a law enforcement portal for which law enforcement can request a preservation of an account. 6:29:46 UTC on February 22nd, 2019, which would have been 1:29:46 a.m. And she asked, where you at?
I need my shit mopped. Is that sexual? He's asking this girl to give him sloppy toppy.
And what did she respond back to?
She responds, the Ville, and then what that mean?
I'm going to pick this.
Why is that relevant to this case, showing that he was asking a girl for some head? What's going on? What is this trial, bro? What's that mean? Stop tripping, you gonna mop my shit. What? Why is this being shown to the jury? What is the point of this? So far they've just been communicating. I guess they're just trying to show the jury that they were all together and communicating and planning to hang out. But you know, we're 4 hours into the day and that's...
Now turning to February 23, 2019, what is this? Is there a series of video call events? What's the timeline of these?
So on February 23rd, 2019,
I'm gonna end it, boys.
I just left the investigation room. They grabbed me and locked me up, and they grabbed Mariah. On Richie, she's snitching inward. They know about you, but not Lil Rod. Told his ass, I don't know what the fuck happened. On Richie, I stayed solid. You can, with the C replaced with a K, ask my mama. I told the deactivate, I believe detective, I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't even know how my name came up. Again, the C is replaced with a K. I don't know how my name came up, but he said people telling him I set Mari up. And Mariah told them my name and told them to grab me.
This is so messy with girls involved in murders and shit. Like, trying to backdoor people and set up people with girls is some of the slimiest shit you could do. I mean, this is all slimy, but... Blaylock was 17, Lil Rob was 15 when they killed this person. So, stupid ass kids that ended up killing someone, backdooring him, is what it sounds like. And I don't think this has anything to do with YSL. Do you think Thug instructed them to do this? I highly doubt it. Why would he do that in 2019 when he's a multi-millionaire touring everywhere?
It's got a snake emoji and it says, happy birthday, little bro, live it up. And it says hashtag slime business. And then it's got a green heart emoji and a snake. Happy snake emoji day, young, at slime business Rod, with another heart emoji. And it says youngest in charge. And it has several, I guess, laughing emojis as well as a crying emoji.
And is this original post or beneath that where it says slime business Rod?
No, the original poster is Do It For Phil, and he's posting a picture. He's posting a picture of Slime Business Rod and saying this is his account. He's tagging that picture and wishing him happy Snake Day, happy birthday.
Throwing up the YSL sign. Trying to connect these guys to YSL, and then they just assume that the murder was in furtherance of YSL, pretty much. First look at Thug on day 150. Looking tired, got the green suit on. So here's a detective that worked on the Lil Rod 2019 murder.
I have been certified police officer since 1987.
Honestly, I do not care about this Lil Rod murder.
Then there were several that were found in the grass. These are the larger caliber shell casings over here. Over here, at the corner of the building and around and on top of the car with 9mm, The larger caliber 7.62 were in this area.
I'll be honest, boys, this detective looking a little uncomfortable. Looks like he needs to upgrade his underwear with MeUndies. Listen up, boys. If you're gearing up to watch some football this year or get back into your gym routine, comfort is king, and MeUndies is the answer. MeUndies has something for every guy this fall to upgrade their underwear drawer. Their micro model fabric is comfortable and breathable, especially the ball caddy. If you never thought you needed a special pouch for your parts, take the hundreds of 5-star reviews as your sign to go get one. MeUndies has over 10 different styles for every type of man's butt, from boxer briefs to jock straps, and they come in over 100 different cuts and prints, ranging from all black to dinosaurs. You can also explore the loungewear collection for joggers, onesies, or hoodies. And boys, they sent me this underwear about 3 weeks ago. I bought more because I was like, I need like 15 pairs, so I never run out. These joints are so comfy, man. Oh my God. They're so comfy. I got the all black, but trust me, feels like I'm wearing a cloud, boys. Be your most comfortable self this fall with MeUndies. Get 20% off plus free shipping at MeUndies.com/cuff. That's MeUndies.com/cuff for 20% off and free shipping. MeUndies, comfort from outside in. Go cop some incredible underwear, boys. Here's Russ' video.
Yeah, she was saying that this victim had been shot by one of his companions. The way she described it, it was not possible based on what I knew from the crime scene. So I brought that to her attention. After some consoling and some speaking with her by me, she realized that she changed the story to what the truth was, which we knew that she was not telling the truth.
Okay. And as you continued, I guess, to confront her with the physical evidence that you had located on the scene and through your investigation while on scene, did she provide you with names or nicknames of individuals she knew to be involved?
Yes, she did.
Okay. And do you recall, or can you tell the jurors, the nicknames that she told you of the people she saw shooting that night?
Yes.
And if referring to your report would help refresh your recollection by all means.
One was Little Rod and Bali.
So some people think this girl was in on it, and then she snitched on her boys, you know what I'm saying? But who knows, man? This murder's not a YSL crime.
Without telling me what she told you, but was she able to provide you with Instagram handles or usernames for the two people she gave you nicknames for?
Yes.
Can you tell the jurors, when you confronted Miss Smith with the fact that what she was saying didn't make sense with what you already knew, did you tell her the identities of the people who were shooting?
No.
Did you, before speaking to Miss Smith, have any idea who they were?
I didn't know them from a can of paint, no, sir.
And was that something she was able to tell you based on what she described as what she saw and heard that early morning on February 23rd of 2019?
That's correct.
Did she provide you information that assisted in your investigation in identifying both Little Rod and Mr. Blaylock?
That's correct.
A social media posting as it related to Mr. Ryan hours after the homicide?
Yes.
Okay. And was that something that you used and utilized in your investigation in taking out the warrants that you described?
Yes.
All right, cross on this detective.
And especially in a situation kind of with young people, they may not always be fully forthcoming in the beginning, correct?
It's not limited to young people, but yes.
Right. Especially if they think there's something they could get in trouble for, correct?
Yeah. Your Honor, before you answer the question, I'm going to object to hearsay. What Mr. Hogan said during the interview to anyone would be hearsay.
Yeah, ironic when the state objects to out-of-court statements with all the co-conspirator statements coming in this trial.
This circumstance, so overruled.
So in this case, do you recall what search warrants you did take out?
No, not all of them, no.
Okay. Do you recall taking out warrants for Instagram records?
I do.
Do you recall whose records you requested?
No, I got Little Rods, I got Bally's.
What was your purpose in getting those records?
Just any information there that might help with the investigation.
Okay. Did you look at those records?
Not personally, no. As I indicated, I'm not a computer guy. I'm not even on social media. I gave that information to somebody who could put it in a format that easier to read, and then those people looked through it and they let me know what they found.
So it wasn't for you to get more information, someone else was supposed to get more
The
information.
information is going to come to me, and just didn't come through me.
So at what point did you get the information of what was contained in those Instagram messages?
When they gave it to me. I don't know what day it was.
She's trying to cast doubt. Chain of custody here.
Somebody sent me an Instagram post on that day, and it was a short video that showed Mr. Ryan riding in a car.
Okay, but that's not the Instagram records, right?
It's from Instagram.
That's not the Instagram records for which you obtained a search warrant to get so you could get more information, correct?
I haven't verified it, but if it came from his Instagram and I got a search warrant from his Instagram, then yes, it would be in there.
Right.
I just got it before I got the search warrant records back.
I'm sorry, if you could repeat that last part?
It was posted. Somebody saw it. They sent it to me. If my search warrant had not been executed and the information sent back to me at that time, it would be included in both records, but I got it before the search warrant records came in because somebody sent it to me right after it was posted.
Okay, I think a second ago, because you said you didn't confirm it, right?
You're going to have to, I don't understand what you're saying. I've confirmed it. Yeah, what are you talking about?
Jesus.
About the content of the messages, you said you did not confirm with the records.
I just said I'm assuming.
Right.
If it's in his Instagram records, I received it before the records came back from the search warrant. I'm assuming that that information that I received that day before the records came back would be in the records when they arrived to me.
Okay. So without those records, having looked at them, there was no way for you to go to Ms. Smith or Mr. Mitchell or anyone else and say, hey, you told me X, Y, Z, but your records say something completely different. Right?
I did not do that, no.
Okay. You could have done it though, right?
Yeah, sure.
And that would have been confirming, right?
Sure, yeah.
I want to ask you about what you testified to earlier about the actual crime scene. Mr. Body asked you questions about where you found certain things. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And you answered questions about where you found those 7.62 shell casings, right?
Yes.
But you didn't actually find those casings, did you?
No, I did not.
Those photos, you weren't there when they were taken, right?
No.
You never saw where those 7.62 casings were.
Not physically, no.
So when you say you found them, you didn't find them. Someone else did.
I said they were found. I'm not sure that I said I did.
Okay. When did you learn about those casings?
Later on the same day that the murder happened. I was at the office when I got the call.
Okay. If when you spoke with Mr. Mitchell and Mr. Newton, you were aware of the 7.62 shell casings?
I was aware that they described to me 2 shooters. Don't recall if I knew about the shell casings at that time. I may have. I don't remember.
You said that they described to you 2 shooters?
Yes.
Okay. You've got a transcript in front of you, so you've testified about this before, correct, Matter?
Yes.
And you don't recall the attorneys asking you at length whether anyone besides Miss Smith mentioned 2 shooters?
I'll read here that they were asking me about that, yes.
Okay.
Sounds like he messed up about describing 2 shooters situation here.
Your testimony was that Miss Smith was the only person who said there was 2 shooters, right?
Yes. That's what it says here.
I mean, when you...
Wait, before we get too far around here, let's make sure we got the right context.
If you want to flip to page 1,100.
No, let me read this first.
Okay.
He said, no, let me read this first. He ain't listening to her.
And I had mentioned to her that I had 2 sets of shell casings. They were trying to determine if she...
Well, I don't need you to testify about what someone else was trying to do.
So what I'm saying is context matters. In this particular instance, I was describing my interview with her, and in the process of the interview, when I was confronting her with evidence, I told her that I had 2 sets of shell casings.
Mariah was the only person who said there was 2 shooters, right?
According to that transcript, yes, ma'am.
That was your sworn testimony under oath, right?
That's what I said, yes, yes, yes.
All right, so that was the truth that you said then, right?
Yes.
And I'm going to back up for a moment. I think you said Mr. Mitchell and Newton, they told you about not 7.62, but a weapon which would have fired larger shells. Is that right?
Yeah, they described a long gun coming out the breezeway. Yes.
Okay. And when you were speaking with them, that was not consistent with the scene as you had seen it, right?
Again, I don't remember exactly when I got all the information about the shell casings. So at that point, I was getting this statement, and I took it as he gave it to me.
Did you not previously testify about the shell casings? I did not know about it when I interviewed Mitchell and Newton.
Okay, well, if my recollection was that then, I don't remember that now. If I didn't know what shell casings then, if that's what I said, then that's what I said.
Okay.
Oh, man. Yikes. So did she just catch him in a little bit of a lie here? I mean, she's just casting doubt on all this being shown to the jury, so kind of a W for the defense with the Lil Rod murder.
But you didn't confront them with what, at that time, would have been their testimony inconsistent with the scene, right?
No.
Okay. And they both told you 1 shooter.
She's casting doubt on there being 2 shooters in general. People said there was only 1.
So that would be he described to you 2 shooters, based on what you just told me.
Yes, based on just reviewing my interview with him the other day.
You don't recall testifying that Mr. Mitchell actually never said anything about 2 shooters?
I got a sneaking suspicion you're going to show me that I did. But as I sit here, I don't recall that, no.
This guy's funny as bro is just predicted he's about to get slayed by the lawyer.
You had access to the 911 calls themselves, correct?
Eventually, yes, I did.
And anyone you spoke with, you would have put that in your report, correct?
Yes.
But you never spoke to the 911 callers, did you?
No.
Even though you had their name and contact information, right?
That's right.
Even though you were aware that one of them wanted to speak to the police, right?
If I was aware of that, I would have spoken with him.
Her name's Abbasi, right? That's how you pronounce it, I think. Miss Abbasi is cooking today.
So if you're trying to speak to as many witnesses as you can, why wouldn't you speak to the 911 caller who wants to speak with you?
Again, I didn't get the word that they wanted to speak with me. Or I would have. My plate was pretty full. I talked to a lot of people when I did a lot of work that day.
Oh, okay, you were too busy.
Yes, I was busy.
Okay.
Yikes. You can't admit you're overworked and too busy as a detective in front of a jury. It makes them think that you missed things and perhaps rushed the investigation.
So looking at 10 NN, officer, you said it was consistent. What happened to that line of bushes?
They're not there.
Okay, what happened to the AC unit?
It's not there.
So how is that possible?
When I got the information from the officer, I memorialized what he told me what he found. He said it's by the Y building. I was assuming that Y building was why indicated right there.
Oh, okay, so you just assumed that.
I did, yeah.
Okay.
It's in the same complex. The picture with the shell casings is in the same complex. I think it's in the next building back in that little building.
You didn't go out to the scene and see where those 7.62 casings were, right?
I've said that a couple times.
But you can't say for sure, actually, that 10 NN is even where those were found, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so they're very similar, so...
So it's easily confused is what I'm saying as far as locations because the buildings look very similar.
Okay, so you may have been easily confused, right?
I was confused, yes.
Okay. At what point between those did she go from one shooter to two shooters?
I know when she described to me, she said she described the two guys that she was with, and she described each one of them having a different kind of weapon. I recall that. I don't recall that she stated that she saw anybody shooting. She just stated she heard shots and ran.
Okay.
Saw both of them with guns, but I don't recall that she said she saw them shooting.
My question was, when in her interview, before or after the consoling?
It was after the consoling.
Okay. Because before that, it was only one shooter, right?
I knew that story she was telling me was crap, so I really wouldn't pay much attention to it.
Okay.
So I don't remember what she said.
Between what was the consoling? We'll go there.
What was what?
When you consoled her, what do you mean by that?
Well, I'm a husband and a father. I've got a daughter. I just spoke to her in a fatherly tone, assured her of her safety, and calmed her down and encouraged her to tell the truth.
But she didn't start doing that until after she was told to, I think, sing her ass off, right?
I don't recall if that was said or who said it.
You don't recall that?
I'm not saying it wasn't said. I just don't remember who said it. Yeah.
Okay. And there were discussions during that interview about whether she was implicating herself, right?
I don't recall.
Whether she could be going home or not?
I don't remember that.
She wasn't concerned with, or didn't seem as though she was concerned about getting in trouble?
She was concerned about getting in trouble, yeah.
Okay. You were the first one to bring up that someone had a rifle, right? As opposed to just a small gun, right?
I indicated that there were two types of shell casings, a rifle round and a small caliber.
Okay. Before that, she had not described two types of rounds, correct?
Like I said, I haven't seen that interview in quite a while. I do not recall.
Okay. You're the one who brought up a second person there to ambush, right?
I described two types of shell casings, indicating that it was two shooters, yes. Implication there is it's two shooters.
Okay. So you made that implication, and then we had two shooters, right?
Yes.
Okay. When you spoke to Mr. Mitchell, that's when you learned about him putting a gun to her head?
Oh, yeah. She did say that about him, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, that's the story I didn't believe her, so I
Right.
doubt about it, yeah.
It would make sense if she's telling you these stories that you would want to confirm them, right?
If it's the truth, yes.
So they didn't say it, she did, but you didn't go back and say, hey, this witness told me this. No?
Bro, she's on his ass.
You didn't go back and look at her Instagram records, right?
I don't think so, no.
So you couldn't confirm whether she said she'd been talking to the victim every day, right?
No, I didn't.
Okay. You could have, though, right? Because you said you got records. Or you ordered them? Did a warrant for them?
Yes.
All right, Max SHARDT is up. Don't really know why, because it's not anything to do with Shannon, but here we go.
The case that we're talking today does not involve Shannon Stillwell at all, does it?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay. I just wanted to ask you one question on cross. You were asked about testing a car, the inside of a car for gunshot residue.
Right, yeah.
And you responded that it would not make any sense to do so unless a gun was shot from that car, correct?
That would be the most obvious reason to do so, yes.
Okay, so gun is shot from inside a car. If your investigation leads you to believe that a gun was shot from inside a car, you certainly would test for gunshot residue, correct?
If there was any question that a gun was used inside the car, so if there was an allegation that it was, and there was reason to believe that it wasn't, we needed to prove that a gun was used in the car, then certainly we should process inside the car for gunshot residue.
Okay, when you say process inside the car for gunshot residue, what does that mean?
Well, we asked the ID unit. I've watched them do it several times. They have a Q-tip, and they swab areas, and they preserve that Q-tip, which gets sent to the GBI crime lab. And then they do their analysis there with bank stuff over there to say if there's any presence of gunpowder, I guess is what it is.
And we're talking about microscopic particles,
yeah,
right?
If you shoot a weapon anywhere, if somebody shot in here, the residue would be, however tiny, microscopic, but it would be here on everybody, everywhere. Yeah.
It would go all over?
Yeah, it goes everywhere.
Okay, and you would ask the collection team, we'll say, the crime scene technicians, I guess is the formal term, correct?
Yes.
You would ask them to collect from the different areas within the car. Are there any specific areas that you would have them focus on? Remove different parts of a car for further testing for gunshot residue?
Yes.
Sustained.
I can approach it. It is going to be relevant.
All right, I'll give you some.
And I'm just going to ask one more question. Is one of those parts that the experts remove at times the headliner of the car?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
So that goes back to the Donovan Thomas murder. 'Cause remember, there was all this debate over the gunpowder residue months ago about the Donovan Thomas murder inside the car and the headliner being tested in the car. He's trying to shit on the Donovan Thomas murder investigation.
Have you ever had a surveillance camera operation where it would be a specific period of time that was captured? The images were captured by the surveillance camera.
Sure. Every system's different. There are some, from my experience, some common denominators. Most surveillance systems capture a certain period of time. It's generally around 2 weeks. And after those 2 weeks time period, it stops.
Can hold up to 2 weeks of information is what you're telling the jurors in our example.
It's kind of a general rule, Brian. But there are systems that capture and they keep them for long periods of time, but those are expensive to maintain, and that's pretty rare that we have, but they're out there.
So if, just hypothetically, if we start on day one and the surveillance equipment can hold 2 weeks.
Of course, Brian Steele's asking about surveillance, bro. Brian Steele will always take an opportunity to do this because of the whole McDonald's situation.
From day 1 to day 14, it's all there if it's all working correctly. That's what I'll hear you say.
Yes.
I'm an object of relevance.
It goes back. Now, on day 15, So day 14 ends, now it's day 15. Are you telling the jury that in your experience, day 1 is now gone, so now we have from day 2 to day 15?
That's my experience, yes.
Okay. Have you ever, tell the ladies and gentlemen jury, on day 15, so day 15 starts, all day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 are gone?
Without a catastrophic failure of the system, I have never heard of that. No.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Damn, okay, Steele. Catastrophic failure. Slime Life Shawty here. Took a plea deal. Gotta testify. Let's go, boys.
How old are you?
25.
And are you employed?
Yes.
What do you do for work?
Music.
And when you say you do music, what do you mean?
I make music.
As you were growing up in the Cleveland Avenue area, did you ever hear of a gang called Rock Crew?
I heard of it growing up. I didn't know if it was a gang or what it was, but y'all know what it is.
And how did you know about Rock Crew?
Because they had popular songs.
What were some of their songs that they had that were popular?
I don't know about hard right now. I just knew like there was music back then.
Do you know who were some of the artists who were with Rock Crew?
One on Big Boo.
And was he performing as a hip hop artist?
Yeah.
Now, did there come a time when you were younger that some members of Rock Crew began calling themselves YSL?
Mm-hmm.
You said mm-hmm?
You asking me that? Or you what?
I'm asking you.
Can you say it again?
Sure. As you got older, were there members of Rock Crew who then became members of YSL?
Yes.
Remember, State says Rock Crew was the initial gang, and then it transformed into YSL.
Who were some of those individuals?
Everybody. Because YSL music took off, and Rock Crew music died, or this, I don't know. Boo got old, so.
So who were some of these people? You're saying everybody. So who's everybody who was a part of the music?
Basically, everybody from my neighborhood.
Everybody from your neighborhood was doing music?
There's a lot of people doing music from my neighborhood, though, but not everybody was doing music, though. I'm just saying, like, everybody in the whole, all the people that were rapping or doing music or supported the music was on some YSL stuff now. Like, it wasn't rapping Rock Crew or under that name.
Yeah. So tell me some of the people that we're talking about.
Me, myself.
Okay.
My friends who I just told you about. Jeffrey.
Naming Jeffrey, okay. Just talking about music so far.
And what does YSL stand for?
Young Stoner Life, Young Slime Life, Young Successful Lifestyle.
So let's talk about Young Stoner Life.
Mm-hmm.
When do you distinguish between Young Stoner Life, Young Slime Life, and Young Successful Lifestyle?
You said when? Did I?
Yeah, how do you distinguish between, so when do you use Young Stoner Life versus Young Slime Life?
Slime part is just like the lingo of it. Like, we'll just call each other or something. You wouldn't call your friend or something like, Stoner, what's up, Stoner? You just say like, what's up, Slime or something. So I'm just say like a way of life as far as music. Or I mean, not the music, but like getting high or like a hippie or I don't know.
And outside of the music, is YSL a gang?
You said outside of the music?
Yes, sir.
Some people treat it like that.
What do you treat it as?
I treated it that way before.
You treated it as a gang before?
Yeah.
All right. Is that snitching? He's saying it's a gang, but it's not illegal to be in a gang. There's be crimes committed. That's what RICO is, you know what I mean? But
when did you stop treating it as a gang?
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know.
You said you don't remember. And when you say you treated it as a gang, what do you mean?
I don't really know. I never thought about that. My music got popping and I became a known face in my neighborhood. And I started coming around and going to studios and stuff.
So was that how you became a part of the gang YSL, or that's how you became affiliated with the music of YSL?
I'm gonna say that's how I became affiliate of the music of YSL. But as far as joining a gang or something like that, I never like joined. We just all grew up together. There was no time to join or when I joined. We just all know each other from school and grew up together and stuff like that.
Is everyone that is affiliated with, and I'm talking specifically the gang YSL, rappers?
Some people.
So, but not everyone?
Some people rap. A lot of people rap, but everybody don't take it serious. Some people just rap just because they want to rap, because they want to follow the trend.
Do you know Marquavius Huey?
Yeah. He next to the lawyer with the brown. I think he got on brown too.
Okay, thank you. Your Honor, let the record reflect that he's identified Mr. Huey. Do you know another individual by the name of Quamarvius Nichols?
Yeah.
Or another Quay?
Mm-hmm.
Is that yes?
Yes.
And how long have you known Quay?
I knew him longer, I think, since I was a kid. We didn't hang though, but I just knew who he was. I was younger than him though.
And do you have a friendship or a relationship with him?
Not a strong bond, but we know each other.
And do you see him here today?
No, actually. Oh yeah, I see him now.
And you identify him as well?
I can't see what he got on. He just got dreads up.
Okay.
In the air.
And Your Honor, let the record reflect that he's identified.
It's really not. That could be a couple of different people.
There's two lawyers right there. He right there, and there's a lady next to him on the left side of him.
Are you still cool now?
I don't know him right now. He's been locked up for a couple of years. Well, I ain't supposed to say that.
Disregard that.
why wouldn't they instruct witnesses not to talk about people being locked up? Why aren't they doing that?
Do you know someone by the name of Yak?
Yes.
How long?
I got a question.
Do you need to talk to your lawyer?
No, I'm just trying to see. I ain't supposed to say that or something. But
Don't worry about it. Just move on to the next question.
all right.
How long have you known Yak?
I don't remember when I met him. I don't know. I don't remember.
Is it longer than you know any of these other people? The first three people I asked you about.
Not longer than I knew QUAS. I knew them when I was younger. I probably met Yak when I was about 18, 19, 18. When I started rapping seriously.
Next, Jeffrey Williams. How long have you known Mr. Williams?
Like the same thing as Yak.
Okay. And then Rodalius Ryan.
I've known him since a kid.
Are you older or younger than him?
Older.
Do you know how much older you are?
Not exactly. A couple years though. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I didn't see those later right now.
You know, let the record reflect that he's identified Deontay Kendrick.
Okay, the record will so reflect, and I don't know if jury, y'all been explained what a stipulation is. That just means everybody agrees, so you can accept that as a fact. That as to Mr. Stillwell, that this witness knows and can identify Mr. Stillwell.
Did you see Mr. Williams?
All right. And so it is now, you can accept as fact that this witness knows and can identify Mr. Williams.
And then last, Mr. Ryan.
Yes.
Okay. And where is he seated and what is he?
In the front row, next to his lawyers.
And have you used IG to post photos?
Yes.
Have you used IG to direct message people?
Yeah.
Have you been in group chats on IG?
Yes.
Right. Have you been in group chats or had DMs on IG with Jeffrey Williams?
Yeah.
What was his Instagram name?
I don't know. What's his Instagram name now? You said what was it then?
Yeah. When you were communicating with him using your IG, what?
I think it's Thugger.
And then Shannon Still, have you ever Instagram him or direct message him on Instagram? Excuse me.
Yes.
So it's SLIMELIFE and Shannon back in 2020.
In October of 2020, or was this photo taken at a different time?
I don't know when it was taken. I just see when they posted.
All right. And earlier we talked about Instagram pages. Is this Mr. Stillwell's Instagram page?
I think so.
All right. And can you read for the jury what the caption says?
Fuck the other side. Put them on TVs about my dogs.
You got to slow down because the court reporter is taking it down.
Fuck the other side. Put them on TVs about my dogs. Soldier reads bloody teeth, Glock with bean about my dog. Cause a scene about my dog. I'm going too fast.
Yes.
Bro, started rapping it because I think it is lyrics.
Yeah, for the other side. Put them on TVs about my dogs. Soldier reads bloody teeth, Glocks with beams about my dogs. Clear the scene about my dog. If he F with them, can't F with me. No, he is not my dog.
Oh, it's his lyrics from a song. Right here, look. Where's the love?
Keep going. Keep reading the rest of it.
The rest of it is not my song.
Okay, so the first portion is your song.
Yeah.
All right. But I want you to read the rest of the post, though, for me.
Even if our position ever come down to being back-to-back, that's just how we're going to rock out against whoever with you.
And are there some hashtags?
No slime left behind.
All right. And is that an emoji next to that hashtag?
It looked like a crazy emoji. I've never seen that.
Okay. What's the next hashtag?
2 B's.
Do you know what that signifies?
Big business.
All right. And what else does the rest of it say?
Many more blessings and riches, I say.
What song is that from?
Dang, I forgot about it.
You don't remember the name of the song? He's rapping it to remind himself.
I think, is it What Love?
And was that a song that came out before 2020 or in 2020?
It probably came out in 2020.
Okay. And in looking at this picture, do you know where you and Mr. Stillwell were when you took it?
At the studio.
All right. And do you have a particular studio that you used to go to?
No.
Can you read for the jury the caption?
So is Shannon Stillwell Instagram post? That's Shannon right there.
Said ain't nothing more compatible than a trench. A carbon while in the trenches.
And then is there a hashtag?
Hashtag no slime left behind. Hashtag 2 B's. Life size.
And is there another hashtag?
Free Quay.
Is there another hashtag on the screen?
They did it again. How did he see it was redacted? There's white. What's going on? He read a hashtag that said free Quay.
Oh no.
Your Honor.
It's in this paper
Your
right
Honor.
You got me reading.
Your Honor, I have to make a motion.
All right, I'm going to excuse
I wasn't looking at the screen. I was looking at this paper.
That's fine. Don't worry about it.
They gave him a paper without it redacted. The state is fucking idiots. They're every day. Who gave him a paper without something redacted and asked him to read it?
Your Honor, we're making a motion for a mistrial on behalf of Mr. Nichols. We're not going to be able to unring this bell. Your Honor, this is the exact same issue that while we were at the bench, I brought it up. It was Exhibit 37NN. The hashtag, there was a hashtag on that exhibit that said free Quay, which would definitely indicate to the jury that Quay, has spent time in jail or in prison. The state agreed. We stipulated that they would redact it. And then the state presented, I guess, to the witness the unredacted version, didn't prep him to not comment on it, and he did. Before we had the opportunity for you to preside over us, this happened already again. And I made a motion for a mistrial. Now it's happened again. So now the jury has repeatedly heard about Mr. Nichols being in jail, being in prison, and you cannot unring that bell. We would ask for a mistrial.
Your Honor, Carson Matthews for Mr. Marquez. We join in that motion for mistrial. And what's important for this court to know is that 45 minutes ago, there had been a reference to a person being in jail. Now, this witness has identified Marquavius Huey and has also identified Marquavius Nichols. So all the state had to do was ask this honorable court for an opportunity to have this witness maybe step out of the courtroom, go over with that witness that, we don't need to say anything about someone in jail, what have you. That did not happen before he went on the stand, nor after that first slip up by this witness. There may have even been a document right there on the witness stand that should have been pulled from the state of Georgia from that witness stand so that this could have been avoided. So, Your Honor, we are joining in that motion as well.
So both Quay's lawyers moving for mistrial. This trial is a car crash you can't look away from.
Your Honor, and I just want to briefly add that it is painfully obvious that the state is not prepping their witnesses. You can tell by the way when the witness spoke the first time and he said, oops, am I not supposed to say that? Like, oh, I had no idea, which makes it obvious that the state had not spoke to him, had not prepped him. And this has happened repeatedly. It's happening over and over again, Your Honor. And we're just not going to be able to unring 100 bills.
And finally, Your Honor, Mr. Marquavius Huey, we all have, it's been established that that his nickname is Quay.
Okay, isn't there going to be, I mean, we talked today about, isn't there going to be a stipulation that references to Quay, at least at some points, are not either Mr. Nichols or Mr. Huey? I mean, we did.
Yes, sure. And that's a few things. So one, Your Honor, it was not intentional because we clearly...
Okay, but it was sloppy because I presume he's reading from the document that you handed him instead of reading from the screen.
And we should have instructed him to read from the screen, but...
Or you should have presented him with a document that had that part redacted. It's just...
Yeah, it's sloppy. I can't believe Miss Hilton just tried to defend herself. It's her fucking fault for giving him that paper.
The issue instructed him to read from the screen, but...
Or you should have presented him with a document that had that part redacted. It's just sloppy.
The issue came while he was on the stand, Your Honor. So the issue did not come prior to. Ms. Westmoreland walked up to me while he was on the stand and said, I'm going to have an issue with that. Can you redact it? That is when the state became aware.
Then it should have occurred to you, you know what, I'm handing him a hard copy of this document that is unredacted.
But not if there's multiple Quays, Your Honor. If I don't know which Quay that...
Hang on. Can we stop having people come in and out when I've asked the witness to step out and every time the door opens they can hear what we're talking about? Please, just for a few seconds.
And so that is the point in which we learned of it, is we redacted it on here. Ms. Westmoreland brought it up here.
Yeah, and you didn't read it. I mean, so the jury didn't see it, but now the jury has heard it. I don't think it is really that, much of a crisis because there is going to be this stipulation that, Quay is not always either of these defendants. So, nor is it obvious to everybody that free whomever is such a quote about who knows, everything these days. And so it doesn't necessarily indicate that whomever Quay spent time in jail or in custody or in prison or anything.
What? Yes, it does. Free whoever means they're in jail or were in jail. What is Judge Whitaker yapping about?
Hollywood stars who are in a breakup. It's not so obviously, oh, this must mean this person was in prison. But also, we were already saying...
Yapping.
And whether this was one of these people, or I don't even know who it did refer to.
And we don't know because it's not his post. He was reading someone else's post, so it could be a multitude of Quays.
You talked to his attorney earlier, right?
Yes.
And did you get any kind of an indication? I don't know if this was one of the things you were going to... But it's an issue now. And you said before lunch that you were going to ask Mr. Rubin.
Yes, we did ask him.
Do you know at this point whether the free Quay reference... This wasn't even his post, was it?
It wasn't. And there wasn't an issue until So when I talked to Mr. Rubin at lunchtime, this wasn't something I was going to address with him because it wasn't I did not realize it was an issue. Mr. Rubin found out for me that Slack Quay is not either of these two Quays.
Okay, but this isn't Slack Quay. This is just Quay. I know. So why doesn't everybody... Well, they don't know how it's spelled. They only heard it. Why doesn't everybody just enter into some sort of a stipulation that the free Quay or the reference to Quay just now isn't either of these people?
Oh my God, Judge Whitaker is trying her hardest to keep this trial together, but it's falling apart. All Miss Hilton had to do was get a pen and scratch that out as soon as Miss Westmoreland told her that there was an issue with that.
I don't honestly really care what the poster was referencing. What I'm trying to do is fix your sloppiness so that everybody won't have wasted, 10, 12 months of their lives in this trial.
Oh my God. Every day it gets worse and worse. That's not the judge's job though. Her job is not to fix the state sloppiness. This might be a mistrial. The vibe I get from Judge Whitaker. Someone higher up, I don't know who it was, has told Whitaker, hey, by all means, get this trial to the end. We need this trial to get to an end. And I think it's because they already spent so much money on it and it's taken up so much time and resources. It'd be an embarrassment to the state of Georgia and Fulton County. It'd be such a stain on their record. So they're like, we have to get this to the end. And now she's just like trying to keep it together. But it's basically corruption, to be honest.
All right, wait, hold on, Matthews. Before you say we have a stipulation. F, Judge, once you rule on our mistrial, on my motion for mistrial.
Okay, so are you asking, what kind of a mistrial are you asking for?
Your Honor, I believe that we were goaded into the mistrial.
Okay, well, I do not believe that because if you had seen Ms. Hilton's face when that came out of the witness's mouth, she was appalled. And I do not believe that they are purposefully trying to insert error into this trial to make y'all ask for a mistrial so that they can try this case again. I think it is continued, and I am sorry. Y'all have, this gigantic, ginormous universe of evidence that maybe if you narrowed down, you would not be making these kinds of mistakes. But I believe that to be a mistake.
Your Honor.
So I'm going to deny a motion for a mistrial with prejudice. That one, I don't believe that the facts bear out.
Is she hinting that she would do a mistrial with prejudice?
Would you like a mistrial without prejudice?
Yes.
You would? Who else would? That means, of course, that the state would be free to try every one of y'all again.
Just a moment.
Sure.
Oh, man. We're back an hour later.
Ms. Westmoreland.
Thank you, Your Honor. May we approach?
You may.
And the stream goes black for the day. Holy shit. So, shout out Thugger Daily. Of course, he's been tweeting a bunch about this. It's going crazy on Twitter. It seems like we're not going to know if there's a mistrial granted until tomorrow morning. The state has until the next term of court to retry. The terms of court in Fulton County are 2 months each. The current one ends in 12 days on November 4th, so assuming a mistrial was declared before then, they'd have until the end of December to try the case. But what qualifies as trying the case? Last time we had a similar discussion, people cited just starting jury selection qualified. However, he cites Bowman versus State. Seems to suggest the trial doesn't start for purposes of speedy trial until you actually select and swear in 12 jurors, which would be next to impossible in this case. Yeah, they don't have enough time to do that if there was a mistrial tomorrow morning. But no one made this argument on behalf of Thug when jury selection in this case took 10 months. If a mistrial was called, the state would have 2 months to get a jury selected and sworn in order to follow the speedy trial rules and retry young Thug. According to multiple sources, the defense team of the YSL case is currently meeting with Fonnie Willis at the DA's office. Are they discussing deals? Would Brian Steele accept a plea deal in this situation? I don't think so. I really don't. So I don't think a plea deal is possible for Thug personally, because it would make him a felon and would also admit guilt, which I don't think he wants to admit guilt straight up. I think they truly think he's innocent. So I can't believe this trial's real. The judge is trying to fix the state's mistakes when really she should be calling a mistrial and they shouldn't be tried again. They should be set free. Honestly, this is a shit show. It's a car crash. It's an absolute disaster. Hit subscribe. Love you guys. Peace out.